why, with all their money, are the LeBron Jameses and the Jay-Z's and everybody else partaking in this? Do they not have a choice? Are they compromised in some way that they have to go along with this? Are they sadistic? Is it self-hatred? What is it? All of the above? Because what I don't understand is, why are the people we celebrate the most among ourselves, the black people we celebrate the most, seemingly the most weaponized against us?
Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, greatest African psychiatrist in modern history from this city, said, if you don't understand white supremacy, what it is and how it operates, nothing else will make sense to you in this society. The reason why those who are least interested in helping us fix our problem are the most celebrated is because they are the ones that are put out in front of our children to be celebrated. If you were not loyal to black people before you got rich, you definitely will not be loyal to black people after you get rich. But let's go further. During slavery, when a rebellious slave misbehaved, what would they do? They would put him out in front of all the slaves, and they would whip him and tar and feather him and lynch him as a message to the others. Every generation, white America makes a sacrifice of a black celebrity. Look at your entire life. I've been on the planet 45 years. Every generation of my life, every decade, white America finds a celebrity that they put out and destroy them as a reminder to LeBron and Oprah and Lee Daniels and Tyler Perry and everyone else. Jay-Z, Beyonce, don't forget, you might be a billionaire, but remember who helped you make that money. At the end of the day, y'all got the money, but we got the power. That's why they don't mind signing a $100 million contract. Because everybody in your circle is white. Your agent is white. Your lawyer is white. Your publicist is white. Your banker is white. The person selling you the car is white. So do you know what a black celebrity really is? He's a water sprinkler. He's a redistributor of white wealth. Because you can't use that money to help your own people. The reason they don't help us is because the white man has made it clear. Number one, white people will not support black people who are loyal to black folks. You cannot become a popular celebrity in America if you are unapologetic. It's impossible. You must do what? Compromise yourself in the presence of white folk. You must be an acceptable Negro. If you are not an acceptable Negro, they will destroy you. I like LeBron James, and I see he got some black manhood in him, but he's trying to navigate this in his final years because he's concerned about what his public memory and image will be after he retires. Oprah's doing the same thing. You see, they want to help, but they know white folks don't value black people who know they black and want to help black people. That's a crime in America, being loyal to black. You can't be rich and be loyal to black folks because you end up like Johnny Cochran, assassinated, so-called brain aneurysm. They murdered Johnny Cochran because he was investigating how much money America owes black people for slavery. First he gets OJ off, then he gets Geronimo Pratt of the Black Panther Party off for free, defended him for free. And then he says, I'm going to go into reparations and find out what America owed black folk. Black folks said, we can't let this Negro come out with no price. White folks said, we can. They killed him. That's what they do. Look what they did to Bill Cosby. This is the #1 black television star.
Yeah.
He is the father of black comedy. There were those before him, but in terms of opening the door to mainstream, Cosby was everything. He's sitting in a prison in Philadelphia right now.
At 80-something years
legally
old.
blind. It takes 2 guards for him to eat, 2 guards for him to go to the bathroom, 2 guards for him to get dressed, 2 guards to help him in. This man is the #1 black public personality in modern history, and look what they did to him, and they used white women to do it.
What was his crime?
His crime, technically, what he was charged with.
No, I know what he was charged with, but what was his crime to make him be a target for destruction?
He wanted to buy a major network. Last time he tried to do it, they killed his son on the side of the road. Bill Cosby re-upped because he's a billionaire. He said, I'm going to get one of these networks before I die. And they said, no, you're not. So they found those white women to come. First of all, you're the #1 black TV star in America, 1970s. You sexually harass a white woman. She benefits from white privilege. You suffer from white racism. What white woman do you know, if you sexually harassed her in this building today, is going to wait 40 years to tell on you? She's going to tell on you right now and destroy you right now. Bill Cosby didn't do nothing wrong. Everybody knows in Hollywood they use sex and drugs. Yeah, he gave them pills. You know why? Because they wanted the pills. Because that's what they do.
I've said that myself.
He sexually harassed you, but yet you kept on calling him? You kept on seeing him?
You went to his house when his wife wasn't there, to his hotel rooms and all that. Yeah,
the Bill
I know.
Cosby crucible is a good message to black men who love white girls. They can sex you. They can marry you. They can have your babies. They can take care of you. But when they get that phone call from that white male and say, it's now time for you to do a job for your people, they will gladly do it. See, one of the problems we have as black people, we fail to realize that racism is not personal. Racism is business. See, black people will have a white friend and say, well, those are my white friends. Okay, they may be. But you need to understand something. Those may be your friends, but they have a loyalty and an obligation to being white before they are the friend of a black person. And if they have to do something to you in order to look out for the best interests of white power and white control, they will do it. They will gladly sacrifice your friendship to help white people achieve their agenda, as those white women did to Bill Cosby.
Now, Robert Moton, just to rehash, to wrap up, Robert Moton was allegedly part of the Boule secret society.
Which was founded in Philadelphia.
Yes. And
allegedly there's a quote circulating saying that W.E.B. Du Bois, who I believe was a founding member of Phi Sigma Pi, the Boule, he said, quote, and I still have to find the reference, but this is what's circulating, that W.E.B. Du Bois said, quote, the Boule was started to keep the educated black man away from the Honorable Marcus Garvey.
Well, and you know, and in my last episode, I discussed the Boule to some degree because it's important. It's important that people understand
the black bourgeoisie.
The black bourgeoisie, and their role is to really keep the
gatekeeper.
They're the gatekeepers. Yes. And they've been traditionally recruited through the HBCUs and so on and so forth.
And Howard University, which we love, is the #1 recruiting site for black agents of the FBI. That's a documented fact.
You know, and me personally, I believe this is why Roland Martin came out against Wendy Williams when she said there was no more need for the HBCU.
And he's also Boule.
He said it himself on the Breakfast Club that he's Boule.
Yeah.
I've had many interactions with him.
Oh, yeah, he's a proud Boule.
Oh, yeah, proud.
And that's why he tried to come against me on the show I did with him.
Oh, yeah. But to me, he can't be a high-ranking Boule, or he wouldn't even be advertising.
He wouldn't be advertising.
He's a step-and-fetching Boule.
Yeah.
But again...
No neck, bald head.
but it shifted from those type of educated black people to the celebrities now. I don't think... I think they're obsolete in this day and era.
You make a good point.
You know,
you make a good point. Because there's not enough black professionals to hold the attention of blacks in the ghetto and in the underclass. So now the black boule has become the black celebrity class.
That's it.
So that you know what that means,
and
though.
They don't need
that
education. They're even dumber. They're even dumber.
Yes.
Not to indict
but do you know what that
anybody in
means?
particular. Yeah.
That means we're going to have to take on the rappers.
Of course.
We're going to have to take on the football players.
I'm already doing it.
Yes. but see, our youth don't have the political maturity to see that the same person whose music you're listening to, your favorite basketball player, is now the gatekeeper for white power. He's the one that's going to co-sign and silently defend police genocide.
Did you even know that LeBron has the Boule tattoo on his chest?
I heard that, and I've never got a good look at it to confirm it. It does look similar. It's
not identical. It's like 90% there.
Here's the thing, though.
Close.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, but go ahead.
In his defense, I don't know if he knew or was conscious that was the Boule symbol when he got it.
Okay.
I'm gonna give him that.
We're gonna give him that. But again, I believe that the celebrities are the new Boule.
Oh, they are.
And it's no longer required to join a fraternity, sorority.
You ain't gotta have a college degree. Yes.
And as bad as the Boule were, at least some of them were educated.
Yes.
And at some point, some kind of
they did some good.
They did. These new Boule, look, they can't even do that.
And why did they transition from the educated Boule to the ghetto celebrity Boule? Because the economic current of America destroyed the black middle class. there is no more black middle class. There's haves and have-nots. So where is the new boule going to come from? Where that new crop going to come from? Because you destroyed the black middle class. It's only haves and have-nots. You're either rich or you working. That's it. Ain't no middle class. So they automatically had to go to the celebrities because the celebrities got the money, the status that they don't want to lose. So in many respects, the celebrities are a better boule than the black.
Oh, they're more influential.
More influential.
Because one
less educated.
Look, one Jay-Z has the influence of maybe 2,000 icons from the past.
I will say this. Yeah. I think Mr. Carter is trying to get some things done, but he has to be careful because of where he sits. I'm watching him.
I'm hoping that's the case.
And I see more from him than I see from some others who don't even have half of his wealth. Now, I didn't appreciate the NFL deal, but I'm not going to jump in and criticize him too quickly because I don't know if this is a maneuver for him to become an owner and potentially rehire Colin Kaepernick. So I want to watch and see what he's doing. I don't know if that's it, but I want to postpone judgment until I see what the strategy was.
You know, I believe that a blessing and a curse are one and the same, the difference being in the application.
Yes.
Right? And that's something I came to the conclusion of after reading The Art of War. Right? So to me, when I say somebody's a boule or this, that, the other, it doesn't mean that I won't deal with them.
Right.
It simply means I know how to deal with them.
There you go, strategy.
Yeah, because everybody that I interact with is not going to be on the same page with me. And they don't have to be.
They don't. How can I use this person to further the agenda of black liberation?
That's
Period.
Right. That's right.
It ain't got to be personal or none of that. I need to go through this. I've had people who said, why did you go on the Breakfast Club? They not progressive. And I don't necessarily agree with that all the time. The reason I go on the Breakfast Club, because my message need to be heard by everybody. And they have access. Why did you go on Vlad? Because my message why was you on Time Joyner? Why was you on Roland Martin? Because my message needs to be heard by everybody. And if they have access, I'll go on a Ku Klux Klan radio station if they invite me, because guess what? There might be somebody black listening to that who got some resources I need in order to further my agenda to help our children. As you say, it's the strategy that must be evaluated, not the behavior.
Correct. You know, and that brings something to mind. Masculine men, such as yourself, such as myself, masculine black men in particular, seem to be excluded.
Oh, yes.
Access to mainstream platforms.
Oh, yes.
You know, I could turn on the television and not to harp on Don Lemon or Lee Daniels. I see Dwayne Wade with his son at a pride parade. His son is, I believe, like 12 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing here? What message are these celebrity tools? I call them bootlickers because they just got to know that what they're doing is wrong and causing more damage. Why? If you got to
I've always been a fan of Dwayne Wade, but when that happened, coming from I'm a certified school psychologist. My doctorate is clinical psychology. His son is 12. That is pre-puberty, puberty. That is the age when you start finding yourself attracted to girls. But for the life of me, I'm trying to understand how an 11, 12-year-old black boy is already certain that he's gay. That is not a natural human phenomenon. How can your son be certain at 12 that he's gay? You know, that's a conversation I would love to have with Dwayne Wade. The age confuses me. Now, if he was 17, 16, that's different. 11 and 12, he don't even have a fixed identity yet. Your personality isn't even fixed at 12. How can you be certain you're gay? What in the hell is going on here?
You see, what I see in this is an attempt to take personal, private matters and use it to promote something else. And that's where I hold Dwayne and Gabrielle Union and any other adult involved in this, because if you have a son or daughter who's struggling with their sexuality, that is a personal family matter, and y'all deal with it privately.
The reason it's being
you turn it to a marketing strategy. Now I'm looking at you differently.
The question is why. Okay, we had dinner last night at U Street. I teach a class on Pan-Africanism. Last class was Garvey's birthday yesterday. We chose D.C. so we could visit Frederick Douglass House, Carter G. Woodson House, Benjamin Banneker House, African American Civil War Museum. As we walking down the street, one of the brothers was telling me that, Doc, these stores were forced to hang up the LBGT flag because if they did not hang it up, the LBGTs will boycott the store, and then nobody would want to go in there and shop because everybody's intimidated by the LBGT's organized power. A lot of people are going along with it who may not even agree with it because they're afraid to stand up against it. That don't justify it, because I'm not compromising my principles for nobody. But the point that I'm making is that the LBGT Army, which is also a CIA creation, this campaign is, okay, your orientation may not be a CIA creation, but the campaign to promote it is so powerful now that it is dictating the black community and how we act and react. Look at the black church. 50 years ago, you couldn't find a black church that co-signed that. Now, show me one that's against it. You can hardly find it. And do you know why? Because if you are a tax-exempt organization and you are getting federal funds and you say you don't support this, they will cut your money. It is about money. And unfortunately, we care more about our pocket than our principles. So everybody black who's trying to get paid is co-signing that, even though it's working against the community, because they don't want to stop the cash flow.
So, again, it comes back to economics, like Garvey said.
back
We
to
are economically compromised.
Dependent, yes.
Yes, big time. And because of that, we can be persuaded to be anything
Anything they
people
want us to be. Which is why until you're economically independent, every black person in America is a potential agent. Because if the government comes to you and say, listen, I will take away your ability to feed your family if you don't go destabilize Dr. Umar's movement. I will take away your ability to feed your family if you don't go destabilize Minister Farrakhan or whoever else is out working in the community. What you gonna do? Or are you that committed to the struggle where you're going to go and tell your wife and kids, we might have to go into the homeless shelter because I refuse to compromise my values? No, you're not. You're going to go ahead and do what they tell you to do. We're never free unless you're economically free.